see that there are people in the room. Excuse me. Just getting set up. Mic check. I will be joining you momentarily. Meanwhile, enjoy the soothing sounds of the relaxed movement on YouTube. All right, I'm with you folks. Hey Lynn, welcome. Jody, welcome. All right, we have 7 people already. So, hey everybody, it's J-Mac and welcome to Bigfoot Input Live. Jody, I was not in the room yet when you were talking. Are you referring to this picture? I believe you were. This is the albino Pennsylvania Bigfoot. There is a lot of controversy around this picture in particular. I myself was leaning towards it not being real, mainly because how often do you see an albino creature in the wild? A. B. It has no tapetum lucidum, so it has no eye shine, and that's strange to me. But if you follow Thinker Thunker, he actually said that he was able to see an eyelid move, and if that's the case, then I don't suppose I have much of an argument to give. If you don't mind, can I get a mic check from anybody? Sorry, I'm using a new microphone. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that. We're going to explore a couple things tonight, look over some things that you may have seen, maybe not. This is from a movie, actually I should say a documentary called Sasquatch Among Wild Men. And it was, Dr. Meldrum was heavily involved in that film. Thank you, Rob. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I've been working on this setup to try to get it to where we can actually show pictures of some decent quality. Thank you, Jerry. But that involves my device being far away from me, so I actually bought a mic and I'm trying this out. But anyway, every time we go live, it's a learning experience, and it's always something new. Something works out, something doesn't. You know how it goes, but. What else we got here? You know, I like this picture. I like it because it has, you can see its glutes. Usually anytime you see a suit, they don't ever go to any detail of adding genitalia or adding, you know, any glutes or anything like that. Like this one, you can actually see the rear of it. I don't know how good it's coming out on your end. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. But you can actually see the glutes on this creature. Has anybody seen anything lately they want to talk about, want to throw out? You got any questions? We're open to all lines of conversation. I think we all know this guy. This is the Provo Canyon Bigfoot, or at least one of them. There's a set of 3 pictures and 2 videos that I know of. In fact, I think on the channel, if you go back a ways, you'll find a video that's dedicated to the Provo Canyon Bigfoot. I can't remember if Provo Canyon is in Colorado or Utah. One or the other. I don't know how this picture's coming out. So, let me see if I uploaded that picture to answer your question, Rob. Forgive me for scrolling. Let's see if I have it. I don't know that I do. So I don't have my picture. We have a picture of a print that we got in it's a little town called Cassia, and it's in the heart of Central Florida. And we actually I didn't cast it because I wasn't out there thinking there was anything to cast. I was there just taking a nature hike, and we came across this really large bipedal footprint, and there was only one. That's about the gist of my story. Honestly, I wish I had I'm slowly uploading things to this particular computer so I can show you guys. This picture here, and ironically, Kathy Westerman is not here tonight so far anyway. I haven't seen her. She is the head of Bigfoot World. She lives in the Ocala National Forest. She took this picture. She liked to take pictures of these tree structures here. So she would go out in the woods and she would take the pictures. And she came home one day and started zooming in on this little guy here. She saw this black spot. So she started zooming in on him. And I wish that you could see the clarity. I know the clarity is not there. Transforming, you know, this phone and this laptop. But anyway. Yeah, Rob, that would be the picture I'm talking about. I don't think I have it on this device, but I will upload it on here. What it was basically just a very large footprint. And the only thing I had was a water bottle for scale. I had no casting stuff with me. It was pretty cool. We've had a couple of experiences where, you know, like we've been walking through the woods and we've gotten barked at, which is just sort of a weird, like little kind of a bat noise. It's hard to explain unless you're there. And everything else around you will be silent. Like there's just no noise at all. And then all of a sudden you get like a little buck that comes, you know, it was like 30 yards away, you know, and I'm fairly certain that we've walked through the woods a few times and not been alone. But this guy here, you can very clearly make out a face, a nose, eyes, and all that. And his face separates from his hair right there. It's amazing. And in fact, like I said, I'll die on this hill. I'll argue this. I think this guy has a ponytail. And it's probably hard for you guys to make out, but this photo is on, again, Bigfoot World on Facebook. That's Kathy Westerman's group. And I put this picture here was in our very first picture reaction video. So if you guys like to watch those, this picture is in that very first video, the very first one we ever did. You have to go back and look at the cryptid reaction videos, but there is a playlist on YouTube, so you can just go back and search just those videos if you want. Sorry about the shaking. Now, there's another story that comes from Pennsylvania. Obviously not to be confused with the Ocala National Forest, but we were on vacation in Pennsylvania, Monroe County, I believe, Game Land 127, something like that. And we were renting a cabin near the Poconos on our anniversary vacation. And as we were coming home one night, driving up the mountain, Q, my partner in crime, kind of like let out a gasp. And I was like, what is it? And she's like, those eyes back there, didn't you see those eyes? And I said, no, I didn't see any eyes. And I immediately slammed it in reverse and went backwards. And of course there was nothing there, but she would go on to tell me that there was a pair of large yellow eyes, and they were about 8 feet off the ground. And so I went back to look at the area where she said she saw it, and there was no tree. Well, there was a tree there, but there was no tree branches like for an owl to sit on. They do have deer there, and they're pretty big, but they're not that big. You know, they're not like an elk. So all in all, we don't know what happened there. We just know she knows she saw some eyes. So fast forward, we get back to the cabin, go to bed. The next morning, I'm going to get up and make her breakfast, right? So I'm in the kitchen. I'm having a good time, just cooking. Got some like Al Green on the radio. I got the window open in the kitchen because it's like nice and cold, you know. It was in like November in northern Pennsylvania there, and so it was nice, you know. And I'm just whipping eggs and having a good time. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I hear this like 4 or 5 second howl. Oh! All right. My blood ran cold, like everything just stopped. I dropped everything, turned the radio off, flipped the recorder on, hoping this guy's gonna do it again. Nothing. Silence for the rest of the time I was there. The next night, it rained all night and on to the next day. So there was nothing else. I 100% believe that was a Sasquatch. It wasn't like canine. It didn't have that sort of high pitch howl, you know, that canines do. It was kind of deep and guttural. So I'm fairly certain that that was a Sasquatch. And that's my story. I think that's the closest I've ever been to a Sasquatch. Well, not physically. That's the most evidence I've ever experienced of a Sasquatch, but I think I've physically been closer than that many times. I just didn't know it. Okay, this is an interesting story. You were hunted by Bigfoot. Now, I absolutely 100% believe that Sasquatch would use humans as a food source. That's just part of my belief system when it comes to Sasquatch. Maybe not every single skunk ape and, you know, Bigfoot is out there hunting humans, but given the opportunity, you know, whether they're Yeti or Sasquatch or whatever, I think they absolutely would use humans as a food source. I mean, I guess you could be... Welcome, Katsuma, by the way. I guess you could be experiencing a territorial issue where you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or, yeah, honestly, you could have been hunted for food. And that's got to be just an absolute terrifying feeling. Can you imagine being hunted for your meat? I mean, people have experienced it before with grizzlies and polar bears, and I'm sure even, like, you know, lions and tigers, stuff like that. But that's got to be a crazy feeling. This picture is Swan Lake. I want to give credit where credit's due. If you've never seen Swan Lake stuff, he has got some amazing footage. And this is just one of the best facial pictures of a Bigfoot I think I've ever seen. You know, I'll tell you what, Kusama, is that how you say him? People say that a lot. They're like, well, it could have been something else, but here's the problem. If you think it was a Sasquatch, it probably was. And the reason being is because we all know what bears look like. We know how they act. We know how they walk. And when I specify that we know how they act. So, you know, generally when a grizzly bear is on you, they're on you. Or even like a black bear, but they're on you. They don't waste time. They don't stalk you through the woods. You know, they don't hunt you. They know where you are. They can smell you a mile away. They find you and they attack you, and they will probably kill you. Unless for some reason something intervenes. But whereas a Sasquatch, I don't know. I think that if he wanted to kill you, he would have. probably without much of a problem, really. But so I tend to wonder if he wasn't necessarily hunting, but stalking you because you're in his territory. And that, I tend to think that's what happens a lot, is most of these pictures of Bigfoot are very elusive. You can't see them very well. People complain all the time, well, why isn't there a better picture? Well, because they don't want to be photographed. And they're very good at hiding from us. I've heard numerous times that this is a suit. I don't know that myself, and I haven't heard any decent explanations as to why. But this thing, whatever it is, it has a baby on its back right there. Hey, Damien, welcome. I do not necessarily have dreams about Sasquatch. I've heard of people saying that they have had dreams where they feel that the Sasquatch is trying to talk to them in a dream state. I keep my belief system a little more on the logical side, where I just think, this is a flesh and blood creature, undocumented primate is basically where I'm going with that. But I know that a lot of people think that Sasquatch is this kind of mythical creature that has telepathic powers, and they're interdimensional and they travel through portals and stuff like that. I that's fine. I don't get into all that. I want to document the species first before we start adding a conspiracy onto a conspiracy onto a conspiracy. So let's figure out Sasquatch really exists first, and then which I obviously totally believe, but anyway, then we'll move on from that and go on to other things. Pablo to G, what's up, son? G is in the house. Damien, I did get your pictures last week. I was not ignoring you. Thanks for sending those. I went through all of them and I looked at what I could. I know there was a lot of stuff going on there. It was crazy. I'm going to go through the pictures again and edit when I have better time, and I'll incorporate them into the live show as I see fit. Interesting pictures, but thanks for submitting those. I appreciate that. So their lifespan, we've talked about this before. I've talked to people that believe that their lifespan could be up to 150. Based on their relatives seeing them versus the time period when they've seen them, etc. But I think more realistically, like the silverback gorilla is like what, 55, something like that. I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring and say that I think 80 to 100 is not unreasonable. So Damien, did you go to where they were telling you to go? Hey G, Rob and Essie's in the room. At least he was. I don't think he left. I mean, that's a fair question about the mates. How does any animal find their mates? I mean, they just know. They know where they are. They know where to look. They know where to go. They know what they smell like. I think scent is a lot to do with it. I mean, like I said, bears can smell up to a mile. So. Damien, remind me where you're not in the U.S., are you? Remind me where you are. Are you in Ireland or UK? As far as what they think about humans, honestly, I think that they've been interacting with us for longer than we realize. I mean, stories go back to Leif Erikson, to Henry Hudson, to Native Americans, to 400-year-old Tibetan monks. So I think that they've known about us for a very long time, and they know exactly how we are as creatures, and I think that they would rather avoid us. Yeah, all right, Ireland. I thought it was Ireland. I remember us talking about that last time that I said I was Irish, but I've never been to Ireland. Irish heritage, anyway. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna mess up that name. I just know it, but is it? Yeah, Yahuwah. That's the name of Jesus Christ, right? I believe, but I'm pretty sure I messed up the pronunciation there, but. But welcome. Thanks for joining us. Very close. Thank you for being nice. I don't think I was that close. What is the first Bigfoot sighting that I can think of? Well, specifically, I mean, I guess you'd have to go back to Henry Hudson. I mean, he came ashore and found like a native, a group, like a tribe of large, hairy, what he called people. But I mean, he said they were covered in hair, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, the Tibetan monks will tell stories of their ancestors that know about the Yeti and how dangerous the Yeti is. So I mean, first well-documented sighting, I guess the first video would be Patty. But in our country, I know that I think it was Theodore Roosevelt had a documented sighting. So I don't know what date that is, but a long time ago. And welcome, Andre. So is Yeti the same thing? So yeah, Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk ape, Yirin, orang pendek, whatever you want to call it, is all pretty much the same thing with different adaptations. It's the same way that a grizzly bear is a polar bear, but they're different, right? So a Yeti, being in the snowy mountains in Tibet, has such a small food source that anything is game. Just like polar bears. Polar bear will eat your grandma given the opportunity. They want you. They want your meat. That's all. So the same thing with the Yeti. Yeah, they're violent. They're violent creatures because everything is a food source. No. And it's actually a myth that Yetis are white, by the way. There's some albino creatures and there's some not, but the fact, it's kind of a myth that all Yetis are white, just saying. Pablo, I think you must be talking about the, I think it's called the Dyatlov, I think is how they pronounce it, the Dyatlov Pass incident. And it was back in the 40s, I want to say like late 40s. A whole group of researchers went up a mountain. They had like their camping gear, and one girl had a camera. And it was a black and white camera, obviously. And they go up there, and they're like, camping on the mountain. I forget what they were researching actually, but so they were camping up there, and basically their bodies were found at a later date. And I mean the things that happened to their bodies were incredible. Just, I mean, crushed sternums and rib cages, tongues ripped out, hearts ripped out. It just really looked like something horrible had happened to these people. These people's tents were cut from the inside, and they ran out of their tents in their underwear, in their night clothes. I mean, this is the middle of a snowy mountain. You don't just run out without your clothes on, but they did. And they were running away from something. And I mean, the Russian government has had the most ridiculous answers to what happened to these people. But it's just that. It's ridiculous. Yes, Ryan's here. Yes, the old Dyatlov Pass incident. You know what I'm talking about. Come on, get out of here. I wonder if I don't have that picture somewhere. I don't like this Chromebook. I'm curious if I have the supposed Dyatlov Pass picture. And I do. It's right here. This creature, now this is the story, okay? This photo was supposedly on the reel of the girl that had the camera that was in the group. So obviously this camera was found, and then they they developed the pictures, whatever else. So there was a bunch of black and white pictures. This was supposedly on that reel of pictures. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard. And yeah, I would agree that Yeti and Sasquatch, like Sierra Nevada Sasquatch, are probably about the same size. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, it's a common misconception about Yeti. They're always depicted as being white. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I was ranting on the story. Now I'm reading the comments. Damien, I cannot see your picture on the format that I'm on, but I will, as soon as this is over, I will go check it out and I will look at that. That sounds interesting. Hello, Lark Lark. Yes, of course, Bigfoot is real. You know, Andre, that's a good question. Um, I'm gonna say no. I mean, are they the same? Are they the same thing? Obviously not. Are they an ancestor of? Maybe. But yeah, I mean, they are obviously a ancestor to probably a large number of primates, and yeah, it could be an ancestor to the Bigfoot as well. Well, you know, Lark Lark, I don't know that it's so much that people find Bigfoot as Bigfoot finds them, or they accidentally stumble upon a Bigfoot because they spend a lot of time in the woods. I personally don't recommend that you go out looking for one. They are feral, wild creatures, and you don't know how they're going to act to your presence. So, Chupacabra, you know, related? No, not at all. In fact, I tend to think that Chupacabra is probably sort of a mangy wolf or some canine species that we're not fully aware of. I don't think there's anything supernatural going on there, just misidentification. Don't get me started on Dogman, dude. Seriously, don't do it. I I don't want to do it. I don't I, I don't necessarily believe in Dogman. I don't totally think it's a real thing. I don't. I'm not saying it isn't for sure. I'm just saying I don't really. I'm not really into that. So I don't know that they're friendly because I don't know that one of them exists. I'm not gonna rant, Ryan. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I'm not gonna get baited into another Dogman conversation again. All right, let's talk about G's comment here. He says, you know, has anyone ever recovered a Sasquatch body? So there's so many variables in that statement. We don't. So the technical answer is maybe. Yeah, maybe. In fact, on our Patreon, we have a video of supposed cryptid corpses. So if anyone's interested in joining our Patreon, it's only $1 per month. Please go there, check out that video. We will be adding another couple videos in the near future. But we don't know that the Sasquatch don't bury their dead. We don't know that they don't cannibalize their dead. If they are a subterranean creature, as I theorize, there could be piles of bones under the ground in caves somewhere. Chances are, if anyone has recovered a body, some government agency somewhere has it. For real, Lark, just don't. I don't know what to tell you on that one. If you're gonna get killed by a Bigfoot, then that's just the way it's gonna go for you. In fact, on that note, can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see this. It says, "Go outside. Worst case scenario, Bigfoot kills you." I mean, it's hard, Andre. It's hard to say. Like, is there a documented case of a Bigfoot attacking a human? Yeah, there's tons, but nobody believes them. No one believes in Bigfoot, so they're not real. Hi, Citrus. Um, we did a story on here early on in the channel that was talking about a guy who was chased down in Indiana. He was chased down by a Bigfoot that he shot. Didn't kill it, but he shot it because it was trying to attack him. So there's hundreds of documented cases of Bigfoot attacking humans. You guys are a lively group. Thanks for joining tonight. You know, and to dig in a little further, G, yeah, that's a great story. I think, yeah, I think there have been people that have found them and just buried them, walked away, don't talk about it. You know, like people like Appalachian people, they're quiet about things. They don't air out their dirty laundry, you know. Yeah, Bigfoots are carnivores, and I do believe that they would use humans as a food source. 100% respect them. I respect them to the point that I want to stay away from them. Yeah, that was a giant, Ryan. I always wondered if they mistook it for a Sasquatch, you know, because I mean, like when you see a Sasquatch, your brain can't like function and say this is a Sasquatch, so you kind of figure out the next big thing or the next thing in your brain, which is, oh, this is a giant, like a big red-haired giant. You know, I always wondered if they mistook a Sasquatch as a giant. Of course, they didn't get any pictures. Thanks a lot. Lark, are you asking me what if Sasquatch finds out that I've been talking about them online? Or when you say they, do you mean like government agencies? Because I don't like I'm not worried about Sasquatch hearing me talking about them. I mean, I don't think they have YouTube, but yeah, as far as government agencies, I think that's totally a thing, and I think they're totally monitoring all of everything we say. But you know, Monster Radio says a lot more than I do, so they're gonna go after him first. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on him, and if he's good, then I can keep talking. Man, I'd rather face down the CIA than the IRS. You know, gee, what would I do if I encountered a Sasquatch and it knew that I was there? I think, you know, there's a part of me that I would just have to try to get a picture. I'd have to. And I think it's going to piss him off. So I'd have to read his body language and see, is he already mad at me just for being there? Is he cool? Maybe I can get a picture. Or maybe you need to just bow your head and get out of there respectfully and respect his space before he kills you. Yeah, that's interesting, Steph. I just did a story like 2 days ago about wendigos. It wasn't my story, but it was a story that I heard online. It was fairly interesting. I didn't know that, Ryan. That's cool. Have you told that story anywhere? Hey, for real, G, if Sasquatch wants to listen to my live, that'd be awesome. We're doing this in his honor, so. Ryan, you got to tell that story, dude. Like, I'd be not here right now, like not now, but you should vocalize that story. That'd be cool. Yeah, of course there's multiple. I think there's probably, I'm going to say upwards of 1,500 in North America. So Ryan, here's my question about wendigos, uh, to a guy who obviously knows the subject better than I do. So when you hear stories about wendigos, it's always kind of like they were talking to me or about me. They knew my name. They were asking me questions, trying to get me to look at them, trying to get me to help them. What's the deal with the Wendigo? I mean, are we talking about a flesh and blood creature here? Are we talking about demonic lore? What's their end game? Gee, you have my word. I'm gonna jump on that podcast soon. We're gonna make it happen. If you guys are into rap and hip hop music, you guys got to go check out Pablo the G. Check out his YouTube channel. He's on IG, etc. Check him out. Also, G, shout out your podcast in the chat here, please. Okay, Steph, the word wizard. Um, I'm not really interested in your critiques about what I have to say, so I'm just gonna go ahead and invite you to leave, or I can leave you myself. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, I'm real concerned about it too, honestly. You know, it's funny. We've done these a lot. I have never had a troll here before. First time for everything, I guess. So anyway, we're gonna move along. So G, I will be joining your podcast. So, like I said, please go ahead and shout it out in the comments here. I'm gonna join your podcast, and we'll deep dive into any of these questions that you want to talk about. See, that was my question. Is like, a Wendigo. I don't think it was a cryptid either. Like that seems like more of a, like I said, of like demonic lore. Yeah, I launched most recent. Yes, Everyday Hustle Entertainment. You guys go check it out. Yeah, man, I'm excited too. I want to do it. I told you things have just been hectic. Life is life, but we're gonna get it done. I mean, I think Sasquatch are smart enough to operate. Maybe not weapons necessarily, but like you said, like sticks, rocks. You know, I mean, they obviously there's so many documented cases of rocks being thrown. I think that's definitely a like a their first choice of weaponry. You know. As far as humans and Bigfoot reproducing, I guess they could. I don't want to see what comes of that union, but yeah. No, I'm not going to bring Scott Carpenter into this or his quote unquote logic. I honestly, who just asked that? Lark. Ryan, I was thinking about doing a whole episode on the Nephilim. Because it's just an interesting enough subject. That's the only reason why. I'm not gonna get into right here right now how I feel about that. I'm just gonna say that, like I said, it's an interesting enough subject, and that would be from humans interacting with non-human creatures. Yeah, I might do that, Ryan. There's a whole backstory on them about, it all starts with Lucifer being thrown out of heaven, and it just really goes. Lucifer had an army, and it went on from there. The Nephilim were vile creatures, but it amazes me, like to this day, people still refer to Bigfoot as the Nephilim. I'm like, okay, in the wildest stretch of the imagination, you could consider, that they are like ancestors of the Nephilim, or like the Nephilim are their ancestors, or something to that effect. But to actually refer to them as Nephilim, I think people don't really understand what Nephilim really is. Yeah, unfortunately, Bigfoot is most likely a flesh and blood creature, and although big and strong, could be taken down by the enough tranquilizer or big enough bullets, that sort of thing. No, but that's not going to stop somebody from trying to domesticate them. Obviously somebody's going to want to pet Bigfoot. Yeah, there's a lot of stories about like people that feed them and have a mutual respect with them, a mutual relationship. I've heard stories about Bigfoot's like getting people's cars out of the mud and just, I mean, wild stuff I've heard. So, domesticated, no, maybe not. But if you live out in the woods around a family of Bigfoot, I don't think it's, that large of a stretch of the imagination to think that you could develop a kinship with these creatures and you could have some sort of relationship with them. Well, Lennon, I can tell you that Patty is a size 16. I know that because I have a replica of the Patty footprint, and it's bigger than my 13. Lay eggs? No, they don't lay eggs. Yeah, they're primates. You guys want to hear that the last comment from that Steph person? Steph the word wizard. The comment was hidden. And that was the one that got them blocked. But they said, I just wonder if the dentist gets confused which end to look at on account of him talking out his ass so much. Wow. What a jerk. Yeah, humans are primates. So I hear. I mean, hey, Ryan, it's just science books, man. I mean, you can't believe everything that science writes, yeah? Yeah, I don't know, Ryan. I don't know what the issue was. It is what it is, so. Yeah, they did a study a while back that, I don't know, like 85% of Americans were against teaching Arabic numerals in public school. AKA numbers. No, Lennon. That's on another channel. We don't do that here. People are weird tonight. What's going on? Must be something in the water. Something's going on. I love this picture. It's like the Grim Reaper ringing on the door, or ringing the doorbell. It's me trying to talk about ghosts. There's like a guy in the back sneaking away. He's labeled normal people. And that's me, constantly. I'll bring up some subject and I see some people just like sort of silently move away. Yeah, I dig this picture. I have a blanket with this picture on it, actually. Yeah, it's weird, Brian. Like, we've been doing this pretty smoothly for, I don't even know, I guess since before Christmas. All of a sudden, tonight's the night. Stop posting those cryptid articles, man. People don't like that stuff. Yeah, you know, I heard somewhere that if you don't have any haters, you're not doing anything. And I guess that's true. Because if you're not doing anything at all, there's no one there to hate you, you know, so. You know, Andre, that story sounds mildly familiar to me, but I guess I'd have to say no, not really. I don't remember any details. Speaking of haters, Ryan, we're going up against our second reapply Sunday afternoon. So if I decide to sell my soul and delete about half of my videos, I can reapply to YouTube's monetization program and we can see what happens. Thank you, sir. We're gonna need it. We failed 2 appeals and 1 reapply already, so this needs to be the one. What do you go by? My name is J Mac. J Mac from Bigfoot Input. Ryan, I feel you. Like, I want to make a go of this, but it's really gonna break my heart to have to delete a lot of videos that I did put work into, even though YouTube doesn't seem to think I did. And that's what they're pinging me on. So it's kind of dirty business. It really is. But I'm looking at it as an opportunity to come back and be better. We're going to strip it down to bones, and we're just going to come back better and better and better. I'm not going to let these guys win. So. Yeah, J-Mac, just like that. It's fine. There's a lot of natural predators in the world. You know, I don't feel that any of them necessarily need to be eradicated. The unfortunate end game for a Sasquatch, the unfortunate destiny is that they will end up in a zoo somewhere. Someday, some zoo, like San Diego or Cincinnati, one of the big ones, will have probably a family of Sasquatch, or at least like a male and a female or something. And they'll charge some exuberant ticket prices to go see them. All right, thanks for joining us, Andre. Come back anytime. Every 2 weeks we do this, every other Friday night. There's a picture of Dogman for you, Ryan. So here's a question that plagues me, right? I am completely anti-zoo. I don't go to any sort of animal attractions unless unless it's like a rescue type of thing. So I don't go to any animal attractions like Busch Gardens, Animal Planet, Animal King, whatever the hell it is, Animal Kingdom. I don't go to any of that stuff. I don't go to SeaWorld, you know. But so if a zoo near you had a Sasquatch in it tomorrow, would you pay to go see it? You know, there's a big part of me. You know, like I said, I don't attend zoos at all. I won't give them my money. I I don't go. I don't eat at Jimmy John's because Jimmy John is a trophy hunter, and I don't like him. You know, I have these morals that I live by, and I would love to say that no way, I would ever go to a zoo and see a Sasquatch. But there's a part of me that goes, man, they really have a Sasquatch? Like, I gotta see this. Zacharias, welcome. Are you talking about the guy, the Michigan Bigfoot, the guy on TikTok? Or are we talking about Bob Gimlin's like breakdown of that photo of the Bigfoot in Michigan? That guy's a psycho. I know. I hate it about myself. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'd have to go see it because I feel like I would. I'd have to see it. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to go see it, and I would hate myself, and I would hate everything about it. I would hate that it's in captivity. I would hate it all, but still, it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. So anyway, if we're talking about Michigan Bigfoot, I've seen this dude on TikTok, and I mean, I'll be your decoy. That guy's a psycho. He really is. He's crazy, and his videos I think are all contrived. We might be talking about different people. Ryan, is he talking about that guy that talks to the Bigfoots? Yeah, you know what guy I'm talking about, right? The guy from Michigan, Mark whatever. He claimed to have taught Bigfoot how to speak, even though he could never quite seem to catch him on film. Because they have some sort of agreement, but he talks to them and gets their audio. No, G, you're talking about Peter, what's his face, the dog grooming guy. That guy is all satire, dude. He's a comedian. It's all just jokes. He's an idiot, but it's all jokes. Yeah, Peter Kane, thank you. Hey, Adventure Monty, welcome to the group, dude. Good to see you again. I don't worry about YouTube notifications because I'm here, so. But I have heard people say that they don't get notifications when I go live, etc. Yeah, there was about a half a second that I thought Peter Kane was for real. Then he started sleeping with his like frogman thing, and then I heard him talking about how a female Sasquatch raped him. Cover your ears if you got kids in the room, but he said that the female Sasquatch was tugging on his ween, and I was like, all right, he's done. So he's a comedian. I don't find him funny. I think he's an idiot, but she didn't give him a rimmer. No, she didn't. That's, again, he pointed that out. So yeah, he's an asshole. Yeah, G, honestly, I dig it, man. We do this every 2 weeks. And I think you know a little bit about my scheduling as far as why I do it every 2 weeks. But I had thought about doing a Facebook Live and a YouTube Live at the same time. If I can manage to make that happen one of these days, I'm going to. I think that would be cool. Yeah, Ryan, come on, man. Just too much. It's too much. Randy. Zacharias, I don't know. I'm going to say either, if it's the guy that I'm thinking of that taught the Bigfoots how to speak, or so he claims, then I'm going to say yeah. Although I didn't see a breakdown on Bob Gimlin's channel to answer that question directly. I have seen his videos before. This is going to come out probably really bad on your side. I'm not going to bother, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Western Slope Bigfoot organization. Zeus. This guy's pretty good. He gets some pretty good captures. I like him. Although he's never responded to me ever. But, whatever. I'm not upset about it. Park ranger. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff that goes on out there in the night. I don't know if I want to be a part of all that. I like to talk about it. Ryan, I think you weren't here last time when we were talking about this. This it's a log. First of all, it's a big tree, and in fact you can see the little cracks in the tree down here. Somebody painted it on it and like put these little fins on it and stuff. But so this was pulled out of oh shit, what is that lake in? I think it's in like McLeod, British Columbia or whatever, the lake where the Ogopogo supposedly lives. This was pulled out of that lake, and because it's an obvious hoax, all of the sightings were supposed hoaxes after that, because there was a few after and before it too. Once they pulled this thing out of the lake, they're like, well, this, so all the sightings before this were a hoax. And then the ones after that, they're like, well, there was that hoax. It's probably another hoax. So this dumbed down the lore of the Ogopogo by them pulling this thing ashore, which was obviously a hoax. No shit, bro. I'm smart enough not to know not to go out there. I mean, I go walking in nature and stuff, but I'm not going out there at night. I'm not crazy. I'll leave that to the other dudes, man. Oh, are you kidding, Ryan? Seriously? Like the ocean? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught my last rambling, but on the channel, but I went off about aliens. I mean, I think that aliens like extraterrestrials exist, but there's no way they're traveling from other galaxies to get here. Like unless they understand something that we don't about time travel or interdimensional travel, there's no way that they can travel through the galaxy to get here. But that to me that lends credence to the hollow earth theory. And we've seen these like alien ships go down into the ocean and disappear. Yeah, something's going on down there that we don't know about. Damn, Ryan, that's a good question. Would I rather spend a night in the uncharted forest or be on a boat in the ocean overnight? I hate the idea of both of those. I really hate the idea. I mean, the woods are so friggin' creepy, man. Like, and you have like natural stuff that can kill you in the woods, let alone wendigos and forest trolls and whatever the hell else is out there. I don't know, man. Well, yeah, if you got a cabin, that's a little different. Yeah, usually, like, we go vacationing in, like, November. We always find a cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere. G, I'll go toe-to-toe with you about aliens on your podcast. We will talk about aliens. We'll do it. Ah, you finally made it out to Utah. Cool. That's cool, man. I want to hear some stories. I got to tell y'all what's happened the last couple of days, though. So, I don't think anybody in here is necessarily associated with a lot of the Facebook groups that there are, but Adventure Monty, actually, yes, I have. Yes, I have, since we talked about that. But so let me tell the story real quick. So somebody posts a video of the woods behind their house, from their house, and there's a light in the woods, and it appears to have some creatures coming out of it, right? It appears. So when I first saw it, I was like, man, it's actually kind of compelling. And I watched it like, I don't know, man, I must have watched the thing like 30 times, you know? And then somebody called her out and said, well, you know, I shouldn't have said her, but anyway, called him out and said, well, it looks like a light reflecting off of your glass. And their response was that their power was out during the storm, so that was impossible. if you get the opportunity, if you are on Facebook, if you want to hit me up, I can tell you about it personally. I don't want to blow this person up on the live though, because that's not good candor. But the video is really interesting, although I think that the person is lying about it, if that makes any sense. I gotta be honest, Ryan, Skinwalkers are my worst subject. I've heard a lot about them, and I've heard a lot about Skinwalker Ranch and stuff like that, but I don't know. I guess I've always just been more of a Bigfoot guy, and although I do get into all cryptids, but that's one that I just have never really done a lot of research on. Hey Ryan, where are you from anyway, if you don't mind me asking? Whereabouts in the country? No, I don't think so, Monty. Arizona. I was going to suggest that we should hang out, but nobody wants to live in Arizona, bro. So, let's talk about the rake. I personally think that the rake is nothing more than feral humans. I agree, G. I will do better. I owe it to you, my audience. I will do better, and I will study on the Skinwalkers. I want to say I have a rake picture here somewhere. I have thousands of pictures, and I have like 5% on this particular device. So every time I reach out for a picture, it's not there. Like this one. I do not have the rake picture on this device. That's annoying. Oh wait, I have this one. Although this is an old picture. Man, that dude is scary. Whoa. That's where you can see it better. So, gee, the Sasquatch wasn't yelling at her. The picture you're talking about is from Sarasota, Florida. And she came out on her porch because she heard a noise, and she caught a Sasquatch or a skunk ape stealing like apples or something off her porch. and she ended up like reporting it to the police and moving, and she never came back. But I'm gonna tell you something about that photo, and once again, damn it, I don't have it readily available. But in that photo, the creature was showing its teeth, and if you look at primate behavior, there's two types of showing. Yes, Zacharias, exactly, the Mayaka skunk ape. So there's two types of showing of teeth. They will show their gums with their teeth clenched. It's almost like a smile. It's a show of submission. It's a show of friendly behavior. If they bare their teeth, mouth open, that means aggression. In that picture, that skunk ape had its teeth closed. So even though it had its mouth open, it was showing her his gums, he was smiling. And I always look at that picture and I think that he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar stealing apples, and he was letting her know that he wasn't there to harm her. And obviously it scared the hell out of her. She couldn't deal with it. But I think that picture is grossly misunderstood in the Bigfoot world. I'm so pissed I don't have that picture. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I think a lot of the answers are laying right there. If you study chimp behavior, you study gorilla behavior, especially gorillas. I mean, you talk about stealthy 600-pound creatures. I do believe that gorillas, the only reason you know that they're there is because they want you to know. So I find it humorous when people say, "Well, you're talking about a 1,200-pound creature. They can't hide." Yeah, bullshit. I have no idea what this picture is. I wish. Yeah, well, they didn't find the Billy apes until what, like 2010, something like that. Like, never had any clue that there were any bipedal primates other than humans until they found these guys, like, deep in the Australian whatever outback. Is it a hoax? Because yeah, it looks like total bullshit, right? Like, I don't know what this thing is supposed to be, but I think that this is Stacy Brown's footage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's one of the bigger Bigfoot guys here in Florida, and he caught this IR image of this guy in the Panhandle. Oh, I appreciate that, G. Yeah, no, for real. You know how I am, dude. I mean, a spade is a spade. So if it's bullshit, we're gonna call it bullshit. There's a lot of pictures out in the world, and I believe a lot of them are legit, and a lot of them are garbage. And there's no point in saying that something is that isn't. So. Monty, I feel you on that one, man. It's like, in your everyday world around you, it's like you try to talk about cryptids or ghosts or aliens or whatever you want to talk about, and it's like people are so caught up in the Kardashians or Donald Trump or what the president did or the weather or whatever. It's like they talk about garbage, and I can't even stand the small talk. Yeah, we're going to try to be a little more active on other platforms. I think we had pretty much put all our eggs in the basket of YouTube, but given their current stance on our channel, we're going to try to spread out. I mean, we've been on TikTok for a minute, so we do have some TikToks, but we're going to try to branch out and be more active on our Facebook, on our Instagram, stuff like that. Maybe we'll dedicate one day every week to a different platform or something like that, so we can try to get out there a little more and educate the public. All right, Ryan, have a good one, man. Always a pleasure talking to you, dude, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Yeah, Monty, I was just on the Bigfoot Reddit tonight, man. I mean, you're right. It's an ugly place. There is a lot of skeptics on that channel, and it's not even like I can deal with healthy skepticism, but I mean, those people are violent, man. If you guys ever want to check out something interesting, my boy Ryan there at Monster Radio, he does like a sort of a, not necessarily a podcast, but an open reading with his partner, and they tell some really interesting stories about cryptids. Yeah, gee, I was gonna try that tonight, although it was a little I wasn't prepared. I was ill prepared. But at the very beginning of this very live, if you go back and watch the very beginning, I had two devices set up and they were both streaming at the same time, and you'll see one of them fall. And when it fell, it cut off, and I was like, damn it. So I had to skip it, and I had to go straight into the YouTube because I like to be here at 8:30 and be prompt. So it didn't work out tonight, but it will work out another time. Greg, welcome Yeah, you're a little late. We've been going on for about an hour and a half, but we're not shutting it down at the moment, so stick around. Really? That would be interesting, Zach, if you ever feel like sharing it. Bigfoot Input at gmail.com. Anything you guys want to share, if you ever find anything that's fascinating that you want to share. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. But yeah, Bigfoot Input at gmail.com. So the Minnesota Iceman, yeah. I tend to think that was a subspecies of a Bigfoot. It just didn't really look like a Bigfoot to me. It looked more like a Neanderthal, but obviously that would have been, millions of years ago. All right, yeah, thanks, Zach. Do that. That's what. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing it. We'll check it out for sure. Yeah, I feel you, G. We're like I said, every Bigfoot Input live that we do is a learning experience. It's a new thing. Something new always happens. I'm trying to branch out. Like I said, this YouTube platform is not conducive to what I want to do. Like, I would love to be able to bring high quality pictures and videos and show them to you guys and talk about them. And I can do that on YouTube, but I can't do it on the live chat. So that is problematic, but we're going to work it out. From Vietnam. I mean, I guess it could be like, Vietnam, they talked a lot about the rock apes, which were essentially orang pendek, basically. The Indonesian smaller version of a Bigfoot. I guess it could have been that species. As always, if you guys enjoy the music, it is the Relaxed Movement. It's a non-copyright music channel on YouTube. It's great stuff, really relaxing, kind of a smooth, jazzy feel. I never quite know what to think about this photo here, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, the eye shine is impressive. The tapetum lucidum. Is it a real picture of a Bigfoot? I don't know, but if it's a hoax, somebody went through a lot of trouble. All right, G. Take it easy, bro. Thanks for joining us tonight. I really appreciate all your input. And I will catch up with you soon, and we'll get that podcast going. All right. Have a good night. Thank you, Zach. I can't check it out now, but as soon as the live ends, I will go to my email and I'll go check it out. Yeah, Monty, so in the United States alone, you can talk about the skunk ape, the Sierra Nevada, Sasquatch, I think there's also other like subspecies, like I think they call them like wood boogers and stuff like that. I really think those are just skunk apes though, because they're kind of in the southern hemisphere, you know, like it. Um, so I know of like two really in the United States. But I'd be curious to know what four you're referring to. So, Greg, the only one that I really know of, I don't think I have a picture of it here on hand. If you go back and scour our channel, some of the earlier videos, you'll find a video from Indonesia. And what you'll see in that video is some guys motorcycling down a trail. And this little guy, naked guy, comes running out of the woods. And some guy loses his bike and just drops it. And the little guy takes off running. They all get on their bikes. They go chasing after him, and then he ducks off into the tall grass, and he's gone. Now, could that just be, you know, an uncontacted tribe? Yeah, sure it could, you know, but this guy was pretty small. I mean, if I would say he wasn't much more than 3 foot tall. I'm looking forward to seeing that, Zach. Yeah, the Sierra Sounds by Ron Moorhead obviously is one of the most coveted audio of Bigfoot Sasquatches ever, you know, so that would be cool to hear something similar to that. So, Greg, you know, technically that's not a picture like you asked me for, but it is a clip. It's a video clip. It's a good one. So I would go check that out if I were you. What we're looking at right now on the screen is a phenomenon that exists a lot in North America, Canada, Alaska, and this is an upside down tree. A lot of people suggest that this is a grave marker. I mean, the hulking type of creature that it would take to actually do this, to actually rip a tree out of the ground, turn it upside down, and shove it in the ground to where it sticks. No human could do this without machine intervention. There's no way. I mean, you could dig a hole, yeah, but these are impressive. And they exist everywhere. This is just one example. But yeah, so I've seen that video, Greg. I gotta be honest with you, man. There's no part of me that thinks that's real. And I have a hard time giving you a solid reason why. Other than it's just bullshit. I mean, you know, it's like, it is what it is. You look at a video and go, nah, that's bullshit. So, you know, I'm giving it the bullshit check, you know. Not that I have a solid reason why it's not real. It just isn't. That's just my opinion, though, you know. So, but I have seen the exact video that you're talking about. In fact, I think there was two of them. There was one that was like the people were real small, and there was another one where they were small but not as small. So I've seen numerous ones of those videos. And then there was a guy. We did a video recently. There's a guy from England who takes video of these little fairies out in the woods. And that all turned out to be CGI, so kind of disappointing. Yeah, that guy, I don't know. He was an artist of some kind, but it was very much presented. It was presented as something real when it wasn't, you know. So I don't know. Um, I got to take a quick pause for the cause. I've been here for about an hour and a half, so I will be back literally momentarily. So you guys are in charge of the chat while I'm gone. Keep it going. I'll be right back. So, Greg, I don't think you were here earlier for the story. I have never physically seen a cryptid, although I'm fairly certain that I've been in the presence of a Bigfoot. I'm gonna say at least 4 times, 3 to 4 times, if not more. And I managed to capture a picture of a print um, on a nature trail or near a nature trail. I didn't have any casting material with me because that wasn't why I was there, but all I could do was take a picture of it with a water bottle for scale. But we were in Pennsylvania on vacation, and I very, very clearly heard the howl of what I'm going to assume is a male Sasquatch, which is very distinctive, very different from a wolf or anything like that. So that was a humbling experience. Yeah, honestly, I've never really bought into the whole Bigfoot UFO connection. I don't know. Lights in the sky are so common nowadays. There may be something to the Bigfoot orb connection, but I just don't. I particularly don't believe that Bigfoot has anything to do with um, alien activity, UFOs, that sort of thing. Oh, let's see if there's anything else to look at here. I don't know if you guys know Colorado Bigfoot. I think his name is Mark. He's got some interesting stuff, coupled with a lot of BS. I find it like I find people like that hard to take seriously. It's like, it's like if your stuff is legit, then just let it speak for itself. But he puts out a lot of garbage too. But like I said, some of his stuff is good. Curious what I thought about what, Greg. I'll be glad to elaborate on anything that you want to bring to the table. I know I'm not the only one drinking here tonight. What are you guys drinking? Just curious. Water, okay. Well, enjoy it. Water is important. And Guinness, okay, very nice. I drink water all day, Zach. Like when I'm at work, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking a gallon of water throughout the day. So at night, I'm drinking beer. All right, Greg. Here's the thing, dude. I am a very logical person. Even when I look at conspiracies, when I look at things that are supernatural, paranormal, I still always look at the logical side of it. So when you want to talk about Bigfoot being associated with aliens or being interdimensional, using portals for transport, being telepathic, speaking to humans through their dreams and different things, no, all that is in a little bag in the corner for me. For me, it's more about finding, documenting this creature, and hopefully getting them on some sort of list as a protected creature, so some redneck doesn't take a pot shot at him and kill him, Coconut water. You're a wild one, Monty. And this is how we do it every Friday night, guys. Or I'm sorry, every other Friday night. Not every Friday night. Don't hold me to that. But I would love to be able to elaborate on what we do here and do it better. So we're going to keep working on it every week. We do something a little different. Man, you imagine coming up on this guy in the woods? He's a handsome fellow, but I don't know. Yeah, I totally get what you mean, Monty. I have heard stories from credible witnesses that talk about Sasquatch just disappearing right in front of their face, walking in the snow, and the prints just stopping in the snow. So, yeah, I've heard some crazy stories, and I don't rule them out. I just kind of put them off to the side as that's a story that's supernatural versus natural. Yeah, sure thing, man. I will send you a copy of that picture on the email that you sent to me after this thing. I don't really know why, or I'm sorry, I don't know where it came from. Artists rarely sign their work, which I think is weird, but Greg, we were just talking about that. I'm not sure if you were in the room yet. We were talking about the Skinwalkers, and I have to admit that is my worst subject. I do know that they are, supposedly shamans that were evil and kicked out of their tribes and et cetera, et cetera. But, now I'm not going to say that I don't believe in demonic lore or, that sort of thing. Like, I'm not going to say that I don't dabble in it. I do. I'm more of a Bigfoot guy, but I get into all things paranormal. So I kind of know a little bit about everything, but when you want to talk about my area of expertise, then yeah, it's going to be probably just Bigfoot. I don't know how you can be an expert on ghosts or that sort of thing. That's too much of a smoky subject to really be an expert on. Yeah, I again, I can't get into a dogman conversation. I can't, because I've talked to some people that have absolutely just looked me in the face and said, "You're dead wrong. There is such a thing as dogman. You just haven't seen him." And if there's a dogman, they're far more elusive than Sasquatch, because I've never genuinely seen footage of anything that I thought, "Hey, that's a dogman." Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Skinwalker Ranch, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I could be wrong. Post Malone was out there recently and said that he saw some orbs and they did some things. I don't know. Sounded weird. So it was a good story. But I'll tell you what, you see this guy? If Dogman does exist, I figured this is what he looks like. This dude is enough to scare the hell out of anybody. Yeah, I just don't buy it. Like I said, I totally buy Bigfoot. I totally buy it. Dogman just seems like a little bit of werewolf lore that got lost somewhere in the shuffle. Really? correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Skinwalker Ranch the one with the guy owned it and he claimed that he had killed, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 gray aliens with a samurai sword? Is this the same place? You know, dogmen are just, they're total lore. I think, like, again, I think they stem from werewolves. Look at that guy. Look at that thing. I don't know who does. Well, there is this one signed. I don't even know if you can read that. I have no idea. Anyway, it's signed, but look at that thing. It's enough to make you cry. I'm telling you, go. Damn it! I wish I had another source of internet. All my devices are tied up, just being here. But I'm telling you, I'm almost certain it was Skinwalker Ranch, that this old fat guy owned it for a long time, and he claimed that he had killed multiple gray aliens. Like, there was gray aliens and white aliens and green ones, I don't know. But he claimed that he'd killed like 3 or 4 of them with a samurai sword. And I'm almost certain this is the same thing, unless it was a complete hoax, which I guess it could have been. Yeah, the Beast of Bray Road, that's right. I've heard that story before, dude. Monty, I mean, you know, not to criticize, bro, but Wisconsin, that's got to be a weird place to live, man. Yeah, Greg, go check that out for me. Go Google that. I'm telling you, there was a video of this guy. He was an old fat guy, and he had a sword in his hand, and he was talking about all the grays that he had killed with his sword, and I swear that he was the original owner of Skinwalker Ranch. Or maybe not original, but he was the owner at the time. But we'll see if I'm right or not. I could be wrong. I mean, it's happened before. So, Monty, when you say you live in Wisconsin, I mean, we're talking about you live in like Milwaukee, or are we like rural in the woods, Wisconsin? I mean, you know, Zach, not to be argumentative, but I mean, do we really feel that that's the most sensible answer? Is that it's demonic? Wouldn't the most sensible answer be that it's just an undocumented primate? I mean, if this thing is subterranean, like I theorize, then we rarely get sightings of it because it lives in our vast cave systems. There are so many miles of caves under the, you know, under our, I don't even want to say under the crust, but under the ground that we walk on, that there could be cities under there that we just don't know about. Yeah, I feel you on that, Monty. You know, I think I am I want to say I don't want to say I'm an outdoors guy, but I definitely am a rural guy. I do like being away from people. I don't necessarily like having neighbors. Where I live right now, you know, I live in Central Florida, and I mean, I absolutely can spit on my neighbor's house, and I mean, it's not for me. It's interesting from where I came from to be here, but yeah, I get that. I'm not a woodsy kind of guy, but I do like nature walks and I like being away from all the noise. If you stick around on this podcast long enough, you'll hear the train go by, and that happens often. That's not my favorite thing. So, you know, Greg, it's funny you bring up the AI pictures. I was just talking about that earlier, but the good thing about AI pictures is that if you just look at them slowly and just kind of absorb them, you can very easily detect that they are AI. So that's a good thing for us. It's not hard to look at them and go, oh, that's an AI picture, you know. So there's a bunch of them out there. You're right. There's tons, but they're pretty easy to suss out, frankly. They're harder. It's harder to suss out a picture of a guy in a suit than it is to suss out an AI picture. So, you know, we've been doing the suit thing for a long time. Yeah, that's true, Monty. It is currently easy. So, and it's probably done by amateurs. So, as the technology grows, trust nothing. That's a good point, Zach. I mean, it's true. Every time you hear a story about a dog man, they're always violent and malevolent and just vicious creatures, man. I don't want to think that this thing exists, you know, in our woods. I really don't. All right, so Monty, level with me. Being from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, do you ever go to the plot of land that was Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment building? I know that they at some point talked about building like a memorial park there, but they just never did. And now, as far as I know, the whole plot just stays. It sits empty. Because I tell you, if you ever want to talk to me about anything other than cryptids, beer, or serial killers, yeah, I'm all in. Yeah, bind, torture, kill, Dennis Rader. Man, what a bastard that guy was. Did he die? I don't know. What was crazy about Dennis Rader was it was his own ego that got him busted by the FBI. You know, Zach, there was also a creature called the Gugway, and I learned about this from my buddy Ryan at Monster Radio. He was talking about it. He said it's more of it's a Bigfoot creature, but with more of a baboon face, and that would be oh god, I can't remember the name of the area. It was Seven Shoots. Seven Shoots creature was supposedly a Gugway. I'm gonna tell you something, Monty. If it was me, if I'm a bar owner, man, I'd have pictures of Dahmer up on the wall. I mean, that's your claim to fame. You know, it's like we have a bar here, and I'm gonna give away my location by saying this, but we have a bar here that Eileen Warnos. She was probably the most prolific female serial killer ever, and the bar that she got arrested at is right here in my city, and she was staying at a motel, a little crappy motel, like just a few, maybe 30 yards away. All right, Greg, thanks for joining us, buddy. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I get it, Monty. I guess it's not something to be celebrated, but it's definitely part of the history. And history is always interesting, you know, so... Yeah, I appreciate that, Greg. Thank you. We're gonna keep on with the keeping on, buddy. I think it's like this, Monty. It's like if you go to places like say like St. Augustine or Savannah, it's like they always have tours and they tell you about the tragic things that happen. No one wants to hear about somebody got married over here. No, nobody cares. They always want to hear about the tragic events that happened. Somebody was murdered, somebody was killed, something bad happened over here. Now the difference is with the Jeffrey Dahmer situation is that that's still a fairly new subject, even though it was like in the 90s. But give it 100 years, all that's going to be is a fascinating subject. There's not going to be any emotion tied to it anymore, you know. Yeah, I appreciate that, Monty. You know, I'll tell you what. Me and my partner in crime, Q, we've been trying to visit every state in the U.S. if we get the opportunity. We can only do about one a year. We've been working our way up the East Coast, as far as Tennessee and as far north as Pennsylvania. We will eventually make our way that direction. It may take us some years, but we'll get there. And yeah, we'll definitely come check out your city, given the opportunity. I think it's funny though when you because you don't really know anything about a place other than what you know, and when you go there and you're able to like branch out and see things in the area and go just like visit the little things. Each state is so interesting. It has its own little quirks and stuff. And like for me, like I always make fun of Ohio. Like I don't think nobody wants to go to Ohio, but I'm sure that if when I visit Ohio, I'll find something that's interesting enough to be like, oh yeah, we had fun there in Ohio. So I'm sure every state's like that, where if you look hard enough, you're gonna find those like hidden gems to go to. Yeah, no kidding, man. Oh, let's see, Monty. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think Bigfoot has been a part of my life ever since I was a kid. Not a personal experience or anything. I grew up. I grew up in a fairly neutral area as far as like city and rural, but I remember my first experience of Bigfoot was watching MacGyver, and there was an episode of MacGyver where there was a Bigfoot terrorizing these people that were running some pipeline, and it turned out that the guys were hoaxing the Bigfoot thing to keep people away so they could run their illegal oil line or whatever it was. And at the end of the show, after they had done some sort of Scooby-Doo-esque, reveal of who was actually behind the whole thing, there was a long howl in the background, just to remind you that even though this was a hoax, that Bigfoot was still out there and still real. So, dude, it was a great episode. So that episode alone right there probably got me excited about Bigfoot. I mean, I was a kid, I was like maybe 10 years old. So after that, Bigfoot was just always kind of a part of my life, like maybe a small part, but I was always like, on the various channels and doing, just doing various things that involve Bigfoot. So, hey, there's that train I told you guys about earlier, by the way. I told you. There you go. I told you, stick around long enough, you'll hear the train. So fast forward, probably about, I don't know, 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, I really started diving into the subject hard. And it was just mainly, YouTube stuff, and I was just really getting into it. And the more I got into it, I developed this, I don't want to say obsession, but yeah, sure, obsession, this interest. And it was actually, I had a phone full of pictures, and I was talking to Q about it one night. We were in a cabin in Blue Ridge, Georgia, on vacation, and I was talking to her about it. I said, I think I'm going to start a blog. Or no, I said, I think I'm going to start an album on my Facebook, and I'm going to put all these pictures in there because I'm tired of them being on my phone. And she says, well, why don't you start a blog? And I said, what the hell do I know about starting a blog? And she goes, well, you just start one. And I did. So on Facebook, we have Bigfoot Input Facebook. We have a group and a blog. And the blog is where I first started all this. And I just started by uploading pictures and art and different things. And next thing we know, we had 5,000 members or so. And then I started a group because I wanted everyone to be more interactive. And then we got 5,000 members on there. And then we started a YouTube, and we've got 6,000 members on there. And to say that it's snowballed is just, it's not an exaggeration. It's true. We've actually snowballed. So here we are. And as I've explained in some of our recent videos, I just did a channel update. YouTube, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. YouTube has taken an issue with our content and has demonetized our channel, but we're gonna reapply on Sunday. We're gonna have to strip our channel down to bare bones and get rid of a lot of videos. We're going to reapply at that point, and we're going to hope for the best. But we're not looking at it as a step back. We are looking at it. Yeah, I do actually. I'll clue you in on that. We're looking at it as a step forward. We're going to come back better and just recreate. So YouTube's issue with my content is they are claiming reuse of content. So they're basically saying that I'm taking content, I'm not adding enough to it to make it my own or to make a difference. Now, what amazes me about that is that if you watch the 6 o'clock news, they didn't film any of that. It's just them doing commentary about videos and stuff that they found, right? Same thing with these reaction videos. It's always some bozo with his face in the video pointing at the other video going, oh, look at this, and then that kind of thing is allowed, right? I take pictures and videos from all over the internet. People send me stuff all the time, and I'll put them in an editing program. I'll do commentary over them. I'll do all this kind of stuff. And YouTube is only looking at the videos that don't have my voice on them, right? There's like shorts. It's a 15-second short. I can't commentary over 15 seconds of video. One of the largest videos we had was like 1.5 million views. I deleted that because even though I had put the clips together myself, I didn't add any commentary. And again, YouTube is only looking at what am I adding to these videos, to these pictures. So basically, if I want to play ball with them, I'm going to strip everything down to bare bones. We're going to go back to our roots, and I'm going to reapply on Sunday, and we're going to see what happens. Because it's either that or I move everything to Patreon, which is $1 a month, and we appreciate everyone that is on our Patreon, but I don't really want to charge people for content. If you want to join Patreon and you want to support the channel, we appreciate the patronage. We do. $1 a month, it helps. It's great. But I don't want to charge if I don't have to. I want to put our stuff on YouTube to where it's free. But YouTube has done their damnedest to tie my hands and say, well, the little bit of pittance that you did earn from Google Ads, you can't earn that anymore, so. Yeah, right. It's true, Zach. They really do. They pull some bullshit on Facebook and on YouTube, and all I can do is I can either play ball or I can just bow out. And I'm not ready to bow out. I feel like we just started this channel last August. So we're about to have our 1-year anniversary, but it's still like a few months away. This is a very young channel. We have 6,000 subs, and we're a very young channel. So I'm not ready to back out. We're getting ready to start a merch store, which we've already started. So I think this is just the beginning of this. So I'm just going to play ball with YouTube, to try to appease them and try to get them to bring us back into the fold. But either way, we are not going to stop making content. Well, thank you, Monty. I appreciate it. There are people that want to help the channel. We always, we welcome that. There's super thanks on YouTube. There is the $1 a month on Patreon, which does come with a little extra content that we're not allowed to post on YouTube about, post-mortem, dead bodies, that sort of thing. So we appreciate that. That's, of course, www.patreon.com/Bigfoot Input. Yeah, we have, like I said, we have different venues. We're also on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Hit us up on all those venues, please. Like I said, we're gonna have a merch store that launches very soon. So we're gonna keep on, like you say, we're gonna keep on keeping on. We're not giving up. And I appreciate your kind words, Monty. Thank you. Yeah, we're about to do another one of those. I have a whole other set of pictures that I haven't made into another video yet. I'm about to, though. Here's the thing. I understand that we have not put enough content on Patreon to earn people's money. That I understand. It has to be a combination of wanting to support the channel and getting a little extra content. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get that Patreon is not necessarily, you're not really getting what you're paying for, if that makes sense. It has to be a group thing. You have to be like, well, I love the YouTube, and and I want to get a little extra content. So it's one of those kind of package deals. I would love to get to a point where our Patreon is so packed full of content that is not on YouTube that I could be able to entice people to be like, hey, this is a whole other channel over here. But we'll get there. And one of these days, rumor has it that we will be branching out into a true crime type of channel that talks about various crimes, mysterious crimes, that sort of thing. But that might be a little down the road for now. But we do hope to get into that one of these days and have a second channel. And yeah, as far as the post-mortem videos, we really just did a video the same as our cryptid reactions videos, but we did it with what we considered post-mortem, and which is obviously blocked on YouTube. You can't post any videos of any dead bodies, any dead creatures at all on YouTube. They will block you in a heartbeat. So we had to post that on Patreon. So we will be doing another one of those, but it will also be on Patreon. So, what's funny? I haven't gotten a lot of what I call hate. Yeah, you're right. A lot of BS comes with that. I haven't gotten a lot of hate. We have gotten some petty comments. We've gotten some people that there was one lady that reported us to YouTube. Excuse me. One lady that reported us to YouTube because, oh man, why was it? She said that I didn't know what I was talking about, and that I was spreading false news about Bigfoot. So she reported us to YouTube for false news. And then you get guys like tonight. I don't think you guys were here. Hey River, welcome to the chat. I don't think you guys were here when the guy earlier, or I assume it was a guy, could be a girl, I guess. Steph, the word wizard, whatever, was in here really spouting some negativity, just being a troll. And that was the first person I've ever had to block on the live channel. So that was weird, but. Ultimately, we've gotten some pretty good feedback, and I would say that we've gotten 80% positive feedback and maybe 20% negative. So no, I haven't really received a lot of hate from the community. one guy that did get pretty ass hurt with me was what is his name? Long Island Bigfoot Mike. He had a video that I just didn't buy, and I did a commentary on it, and next thing I know, he's being tagged in it, and then he jumps in, and had his little bit to say about me, and I was like, look, man, I'm not gonna get into all this with you. And I tried to reach out to him and contact him, but he blocked me. So that's really the biggest conflict we've ever had. So, River, if you had to speculate, how many yowies would you say exist in Australia? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this picture before, but it's a picture of a cryptid on a Texas highway. This is a guardrail that he's sitting on, a concrete guardrail. This is on the side of a highway. They were doing a tornado warning of some kind, and they took some video of a road, and this big guy is sitting on this rail here, and we have no idea what he is. I don't know. Kind of looks like a Bigfoot, kind of looks like a dog man, kind of looks like a lot of things. I really don't know. And I don't know what this thing in his mouth is either, but that's obviously a mouth. Welcome, Jeff. I assume we're talking about Long Island Mike. Yeah, I don't get down with that guy. So you guys have River. So you guys have different subspecies of yowie. I was actually more interested in what you think the actual physical count is. Like, I estimate North America to be south of 1,500, somewhere in that area of 1,500. And when I think of Australia, like I don't know jack about Australia. I know what typical tourists think, like, deserts and beaches and big cities. But when you think of like a yowie, you would think that it would need a large wooded area. So I don't think there's a large population in Australia based on my very limited knowledge of Australia. 1,600, really? Would you say, so you think there's enough wooded area in Australia to support that kind of number? I know that it was 2010 they discovered the billy apes down there in Australia. And up until then, we really didn't have any physical documentation of any bipedal primates other than humans. Really? Yeah, I don't know how long you were here, Jeff, or heard that. I got no problem with the guy. He just, I don't know, he takes a lot of video of him just walking around, and that's fine if that's what you want to watch. And he has some decent footage, I guess. It was one of his older footages, and I really just wasn't buying what he was saying in the footage, and that doesn't make me right. That's just my opinion. And like I said, some of his fans kind of attacked me in the comments, and they tagged him, and so he jumped into the comments and said that I forget exactly what he said, but basically he said I wasn't boots on the ground, I wasn't out there actually looking for anything, So, my opinion didn't mean anything, etc., etc., so that's fine. But anyway, I did reach out to the guy to clear the air, and he was not interested. So, hey, it is what it is. See, it's interesting to talk to somebody from Australia because you don't really hear a lot of this stuff necessarily in the news. It doesn't make it out of the continent. I mean, we know about Yowies, I guess, but that's about it. And the Billy Apes, we heard about those in 2010. But that's about it. All right, you guys, I got to ask for another quick pause for the cause. I'll be right back. So, Jeff, I'm just getting back and I'm reading the comments. Thanks, you guys, for hanging on. But so, Jeff, that was one of my things about Long Island Mike, and maybe you could clarify for me. Maybe you could correct me. But I just thought to myself, I was like, Long Island, is it that big of a place? Is it that wooded of a place? Is it that secluded of a place to house Bigfoot creatures? And then a lot of people want to get into they're teleporting there from different areas and stuff like that. And I'm not going to get into that conversation if I'm frank. I want to know more about flesh and blood creatures that might exist, and I've just never thought of Long Island as being the place where they would be. Does Long Island have a lot of caves? I mean, I totally believe that Bigfoot is a subterranean creature, for sure. Yeah, you know, Jeff, I don't think that cloaking is something that we can rule out. I'd like to keep it a little more scientific, like in the way that owls do and chameleons do and stuff like that. But some people, some people act like they have magical powers, which I don't necessarily believe. I don't know. I guess, again, not to get hung up on the Long Island thing. It's kind of like if somebody told you like Miami has Bigfoot, you'd be like, really? Like, no way. Yeah, so Jeff, my email is bigfootinput@gmail.com. Bigfootinput@gmail.com. Please, you can always email us anything there that I need to see, that I need to talk about. Please email us anything. We do personally check out everything that's sent to us. We're also available on TikTok. We're available on Instagram. We're available on Facebook. We have a messenger on Facebook. There's tons of ways to contact us. So, you know, please feel free. Hey, Lemon's Cure, welcome. It's been a while, bud. You missed the crowd, but we are still here hammering out the details. You know, the funny thing, Jeff, is I never really said that, you know, Long Island Mike was a hoax or Long Island Mike was this or that. I literally had a critique about a video that came my way. And I said, I was like, his voice sounds like Long Island Mike, but I don't know if this is him. And he's, like I said, he was tagged in the video. He said, yeah, that's me. It's my video. And, basically it went on to a typical kind of New Yorker attitude. Like, well, what the F do you know? Why are you talking? He just had a bad attitude about it, and it was just unnecessary. But like I said, I reached out to the guy to clear the air. He didn't respond to me, so hey, it is what it is. No loss. Well, the video had to do with Bigfoot, and I ended up taking the video down because I was getting really sick of the heat from his fans. I mean, a lot of heat from his fans. Um, it was a really poor, shitty video, if I'm honest, and it didn't make sense. And he was claiming it was in the middle of Long Island, and I had some critiques about it. It's kind of what I do. It's my thing. And he just, dismissed me and said, I didn't know what I was talking about. And, I'm just sitting behind the computer screen and he's out there in the woods. And it was just, it was one of those typical, just a bad attitude sort of thing, And like I said, I tried to work it out with him. I wanted to contact him and be like, listen, man, we're on the same team here. We don't need to be acting like this. But like I said, he just didn't want to hear from me. So it is what it is. Damn, that's messed up, Jeff. I appreciate all the support I get from fans, but I have never insisted on anything from anybody. So like I said, we appreciate the super thanks. We appreciate anyone that joins our Patreon. It's $1 a month. We appreciate that support, but anything other than that, it's just us, Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Like I said, we do this every other Friday. We don't do it every Friday, so it's every other Friday. And I announce it before we do it, and after each live episode, I can't. All my devices are being used in the midst of this, so when it's done, I will go to our email and I'll check out what we get afterwards. And we always have something interesting to look at, and maybe we'll include it next time we're here, so. See if there's anything else interesting here to look at. I love this picture. If you guys aren't part of our Facebook group, I would invite you to go there. That's where this all started. We have a lot of content over there. So Jeff, you're in Alabama, so you're kind of in my neck of the woods. I'm in Central Florida, so you're looking for skunk apes. Yeah, I buy that. You know, like I said, I buy that in the way that chameleons can cloak and owls can cloak, and there's tons of bugs that can cloak. Yeah, I believe it to be a more of a natural thing rather than a supernatural power, if that makes sense to you. You know, I think when some people talk about cloaking, they think like Harry Potter, you know, but I just think that some animals have the ability to cloak themselves and we don't. Jeff, do you have a channel for your research? You can shout out the channel, you can send it to me on my email, I'll check it out. Yeah, so like I see videos of owls sometime and they amaze me. Like you can literally be looking at a tree and not know that there's an owl right in front of you, you know? And when you talk about camouflaging, like the big cats, I mean, they blend right in with the tall grass and stuff like that, you know? So I feel that camouflaging ends with the lion in the tall grass, and cloaking begins with the chameleon looking like a tree branch that it's sitting on, if that makes sense. So, River, that's interesting. If you listen to the Ron Moorhead Sierra Sounds, there's a lot of what they refer to as samurai gibberish in those videos, and there's other videos like that, but it sounds like old samurai movies, where they speak in a language that we don't quite understand, you know. So Jeff, here's where you and I are going to differ, and that's okay. We can have a difference of opinion and still, be simpatico, right? I'm gonna differ with you and say that I don't believe that Sasquatch or Bigfoot travels through portals. I don't think that portals are a thing. I don't know that interdimensional travel is a thing. I don't know that interdimensional at all is a thing. So I'm going to base my beliefs in Earth, earthbound type stuff, and just believe that this is a undocumented primate species. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll throw that out there. But I'm going to have to base my belief system on logic. But it's funny, like I talk about logic a lot, and I don't know if you guys have ever studied quantum physics, but I believe in quantum physics as being a real thing that wasn't studied. It wasn't studied enough out of the 60s and 70s. Like they kind of dropped it at some point. And they focused on Newtonian physics and Einstein physics. But quantum physics makes a lot more sense. So if you and I were to get into a conversation about quantum physics, you might think that I was a complete lunatic. But it's something that I understand and that I believe in. So I try not to dismiss people that tell me, well, I've seen Bigfoot walk out of a portal. I've seen Bigfoot walk through the snow and his tracks just disappear, just stop. I mean, tell me how that works. Now, this is, believe me, this is someone that I know and trust. So this is a story that's legit to me. That they're literally tracking a Bigfoot through the snow. And they reach a point where the tracks stop. How does that happen? Even if they can cloak, they can't physically just disappear. But if tracks in the snow just stop, that means one of two things. Either they disappeared into smoke, or they walked backwards in their own tracks to some extent and then went a different direction. Yeah, that's cool, Jeff. I would be interested to see any pictures you have. Obviously, like I said, I'm always welcome to all evidence. Even if like, believe me, I get some people that send me stuff that's like, come on, man. But, but the thing is, I don't ever complain about it because I want to see all of it. I want to see every single bit of it. That way I can make my own conclusions. A lot of these people like to complain about, like, it's so blurry, it's this, it's that. No. I want to see all of it. So if it's cryptid related, send it over. If it's paranormal related, whatever, we will check it out. So I particularly like the Independence Day footage. We did have it on a top 10 video at some point. I think it was like number maybe 3 or 4. I think it was, actually it might have been number 2, right above Paul Freeman's footage. But, you know, the only thing about Independence Day, there was a guy online, I can't remember his name. It wasn't, wow, his name just fell out of my head. It wasn't the big hoaxer guy from Indiana that makes the Bigfoot suits. It was someone else. Someone else had just got done making a suit, and they had posted online, and then shortly after that, the video surfaced. But I don't think that was related, frankly. And Mark Anders, I'm sorry, that was the guy's name that I was trying to think of. It was not a Mark Anders suit. And somebody had claimed that you could see neck flesh where the mask met the body. And it's such a ridiculous, like, grab at a way to prove that video fake that I don't buy it. You know, you can see a little bit of I'd say skin or something near the neck, which could have been anything. Could have been like an injury. It could have literally been anything. I think the problem with Independence Day is that they don't give a ton of backstory. about, you know, why they were videoing at that particular moment, why they were able to get such a clear shot. But basically, the guy was hiking, and he had a high, you know, pixel camera. He was there taking pictures and stuff, and he said he saw the creature, and he saw it, and he set up, and he said this creature has to go back for its baby at some point, so he set up a camera and waited, and he got it. I think he got some of the best footage. I think he got footage better than Patty, honestly. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Destin is a beautiful area. There's some nice state parks there. In fact, if you're familiar with Stacy Brown, I can show you one of his pictures. His picture was taken right there near Destin. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the state park that he took that picture in, but here you go. He got a really nice IR footage of a creature right there outside of Destin. And if you're down in Tampa, you got to go to Myakka State Park. I don't know what's going on down there after the hurricanes. I heard that they were closed for a while and they opened back up. I don't know what happened to the creatures down there because of the hurricanes, you know, but that was a Cat 4. They had a pretty direct hit. But Myakka is typically the place to go. Myakka and Green Swamp. Green Swamp's a little north of Tampa, though, but Myakka is right there next to Tampa. I agree with you, Monty. That's not a good enough criticism for me either. You know, it's like, just because the guy was expecting the creature to come out, he knew that the creature was going to come. He had saw it before. He didn't get it on footage. You know, like the footage. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. You know, the footage that we saw was not the very first second that he had saw the creature. He had already seen it. So it went behind the rock. He knew that it was going to come out from behind that rock to go get its baby. He already knew that. So the fact that he was able to aim the camera at the creature and that he was able to pan along with it and lead it a little bit, that's not evidence that it's staged. Sorry. Hey, Johnny. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that guy that supposedly made the Bigfoot or the Independence Day footage suit. You know, I know he made a suit. I find it hard to believe that you would make a video to then post on all these social media networks and never make any money off of it. Nobody, like literally nobody made a dime off that video. They didn't sell it to Getty Images or anything like that. They didn't make any money. So why? Why bother? Yeah, I know it wasn't Mark Anders. Mark Anders has a different suit that's equally impressive, but the Independence Day footage didn't make any money, and I just don't see why that would be a hoax. But Jeff, I will eagerly await these pictures. And if you're willing to send them to me with your permission, I will share them with the world. If you don't give me that permission, that's fine. I won't share them. But that's up to you. You know what's funny about that, Jeff? I am a believer of quantum physics. And I consider myself to be a man that is in the know. I like to be in the middle of what's going on in the world. I like to be educated about things. As many times as I have watched videos about CERN, about the Hadron Collider, about the, particle collider, about different things, I've watched these videos numerous times. I still, to this day, could not tell you what the hell they're doing over there. I mean, I just don't know. Every time they do this, every time they collide some hadrons, they claim that they have some better understanding of space and how things worked and better this and that, and I have no freaking clue what they're doing over there. Brandon, I don't have any reason to believe anything other than, yeah, Earth is a spinning ball. Yep. I mean, there's been guys that have gone into space and took video of it. I mean, unless you want to call NASA a complete fake, which, you could go down that wormhole. I mean, I get it. I've been down there myself, and I still haven't come back out, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Monty, I'm going to answer your question in a second because I want to give it some attention. Jeff, do you really believe in flat Earth? Come on, man. No way. Brandon, I honestly, the more I look into it, I believe that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing, that it wasn't really a thing. Yeah, I don't really think it was real. And in fact, I have some video that I haven't put together yet of Stanley Kubrick totally admitting that he filmed the moon landing. But there's no way the Earth is flat. There's just no freaking way. Sorry, guys. Okay, Monty, I got to go back to your question. So I have seen some videos, some pictures. No, not patty quality. But I've seen some stuff that I was sworn to secrecy and that I was not allowed to share. And it really killed me to be able to see it and not be able to share it. But I get why I wasn't allowed to share it, There's one in particular, I'll tell you the story. And I have to be very cryptic about it. This person sent me a photo of the window of their house. And their house is surrounded by woods, and I obviously won't say where they are, but they are surrounded by woods. A relationship had developed between that person and the creatures that lived outside. And at some point in the evening, these creatures had come up to their window and looked in. And when I say creatures, I'm going to say maybe 6 to 8 creatures. just flat out looking in this window at night. And it was one of the most incredible pictures I've ever seen. I was really just blown away at this. It was just a regular like cell phone picture of a window with like 8 Bigfoots just staring in. So it absolutely killed me not to be able to share that photo, but I try to keep a level of integrity and do what I say I'm going to do. So that picture is always ingrained in my mind, but until that person's ready, it won't ever go anywhere. Thank you, Monty. Yeah, I've this whole journey has allowed me into places, into corners of the world that I never really thought I would ever, I never really even thought existed or wanted to go. And since I've gone there, it's really been amazing. It's been an amazing journey, and I can't wait to find out the rest, Bunyip? No, River, what the hell's a bunyip? And not to ignore the conversation going on between Brandon and Jeff either, but it just you're really it's a wormhole, I've heard about the ice wall in Antarctica, and then I actually saw a picture of the supposed wall in outer space. So yeah, like I'm not ruling anything out, but I am ruling out flat Earth. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just we have night and day for a reason. Like it's day over here, it's night in China. It's night here, it's day in China. That's because the sun can only reach certain parts of the Earth at certain times. So yeah, the Earth is round. I mean, it just kind of makes sense, But everything else for me is up for argument. It's like, the moon landing, the wall in outer space. We know so little about outer space, but in fact, I'll even talk about hollow Earth theory if you guys want to really get into it. But as far as like flat Earth, I can't get down with that at all. It's just it doesn't. There's too many things about that doesn't make sense. So, like all the other planets are round, but ours is flat. I mean, come on, just. No. Like, Lynn, have you been here the whole time? you were here like at the beginning, and then I haven't heard anything from you the whole time, and then all of a sudden here you are at midnight, still here. What are we talking about, River? Like a hippo? 20 foot long? Tapered tail. Huh. No, I've never heard of this thing. Well, I fuck with the hollow earth theory because I believe that extraterrestrials do exist here on Earth, but I don't believe that they come from other galaxies. I don't believe that there's any possible way that they can travel that far, that fast, unless they have a complete understanding of something that we don't, like interdimensional travel or time travel or holes in the, wormholes in the loop of time, that sort of thing. Okay, that's a lot of science fiction that we just make up. Let's talk about real shit though. Like, you can't travel from galaxy. You can't travel to our nearest star. It'll take you like what, 65 million years or something to get to our nearest star. So that being said, no, I don't believe that aliens are traveling from other galaxies, but that doesn't mean that they're not here already. So that's why I fall back on the hollow earth theory. I have to. Yeah, it's true, Monty. I mean, they travel, you know, a couple thousand light years just to stick something up our ass to see what's going on. Like I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy a lot of this. I was abducted by aliens crap. I really don't. Like, I mean, like, they're there. We can see the lights in the sky. Chances are that half of them are human tech, but yeah, there's something else to it. And yeah, maybe they are here longer than we were here. It's like there's so much about the human history that we don't understand. And I mean, don't get me started on ancient Egypt. Um, I believe that we found the pyramids. We didn't build them. And that doesn't mean that aliens came from outer space and built them either, as like ancient aliens would have you believe. But I do believe that there is an ancient civilization that we don't know about that built those pyramids with a higher technology than we can even currently understand. So, that being said, there's a long period of time in the human history that's missing, and it's something like 300 million years. It's just missing. We have no idea what happened, and this goes back to the Great Flood, which is documented in every major religion that we know about. So yeah, there's just so much about the human history that we don't understand. And I don't know that we ever will. I mean, I say ever. Ever's a long time. Certainly not in our lifetimes. Yeah, I personally believe, Monty, that the pyramids were found, not built. And that's just, I mean, if you look at the science, like, look at the Sphinx. If you study the lines on the Sphinx, it's currently being studied that those lines are caused by water erosion. So if that's the case, that means that the entirety of Egypt was underwater, and that the Sphinx is about 12,000 years older than we think it is. And that rules out, people like Cleopatra and people that, the pharaohs of Egypt actually building the pyramids, which is friggin' impossible. If you look at the interior structure of the pyramids, I mean, these big, like, 7-ton stones that are like, hundreds of feet high, it's impossible for these people to have built this. Let's just get over it. It's like we need to move on in our studies in the world. We need to stop teaching our kids lies, and actually focus on the mysteries of the world that still exist instead of trying to be so friggin' arrogant and act like we know everything. We've already figured it out, and this is what happened. We don't know anything about anything. You can't describe, or you can't tell me why. You can't tell why there are machine marks on the pyramids. Why are there machine marks? Why are there standing drill marks? Why are there spiral drill marks in a culture that didn't have, metalworks like this? So obviously they did. Obviously, whoever built those did have that, but it wasn't the ancient Egyptians. All right, River, if you're still there, man, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Please join us again. All right, my guys, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I appreciate all the support, and I really appreciate you guys doing this. Seriously, you're welcome every other Friday. I will announce before we do it every time. Like I said, it's every other Friday. I know that's hard to keep track of. I can't give you a date exactly, but it's every other Friday. So it won't be the next coming Friday, but the following, we will be right back here doing this again. So please join us. The conversation is great, and we try to learn something new. We try to talk about our differences. It's awesome. So I really enjoy having everybody here. Yes, sir, Monty. I appreciate you too. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Jeff and River and Brandon and all you guys that have been here for Lynn. You've been here so late. I'm gonna drop it for now, though. It is midnight here in Central Florida, and some of us have stuff to do tomorrow, so I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. But please join us on the channel. We will have new stuff coming up. And in fact, we have some news stories out right now if you haven't been there lately. So go check that out. As of right now, though, this is J Mac, and I'm out. So keep squatching. Later, guys.